Wait, what do I have to say? Am I talking?
Yeah, you're watching Everfree Network.
Oh, hold on. Let me spit out my gum and be more professional.
There you go.
You're watching Everfree Network.
Thank you.
There you go, sir.
So now I got Peter New.
And now, Everfree Radio presents Stay Brony, my friends, with DustyKatt.
We were just talking about Meghan making an album with Mando Pony. Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, she writes all this awesome music, and for all of the episodes, wouldn't that be awesome? Hey, Mando, call me. I can hook you up. So, welcome everybody to San Jose, California. San Jose, California. One more time. West Coast. Beautiful, beautiful day today. It's been raining like heck for the last couple of days, though, which just means snowboarding's coming soon. Slopes open middle of December. So hopefully we'll do some epic filming up there. But tonight, what I have for you is one Meghan McCarthy. Meg, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing awesome. Because you shine down on our program. The awesomeness which is the writing, and story editing, and everything that you've been doing for our favorite show.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's
my pleasure to be here.
Well, absolutely. I just want to hug you so much. Yeah, so, you know what? We're going to go straight into questions because I'm sure everybody's got questions. I got a list right here, which was put together for me with some help from Care to Win himself, who happens to help me write all of my good stuff. So we're going to go straight into it.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do, well, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put Megan's OC over my shoulder so everybody can see how cute it is, because it's awesome. As if you couldn't figure out who was with me tonight. Okay, first question. To what extent is there a writer's Bible for the show nowadays? I know you guys had one at the start, but is it continually being added to? As soon as a new episode is done, does somebody write a new chapter, or do they go back and edit it? How big is that thing nowadays?
Wait, say that. Sorry, I missed the very first part of what
the
you
writer's
said.
The writer's Bible.
The Bible.
Yeah.
You know, it hasn't really been expanded upon in like an official kind of document. And we have Jason Thiessen, who is like a walking encyclopedia of everything that has ever happened on Pony. So there's not like really something that we've kind of we probably should.
Yeah.
But
at this point,
yeah, there's not something official that we have, but we do, you know, try to keep track of things, and he's Jason is a very good source for if we end up putting something in the script that that goes against you know, something we've seen on the show before, or something like that. He's usually pretty good about pointing out, you know, let's not do that, or this goes against something we've done before. So yeah, I guess that's the answer.
Cool. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking about, because you get like some episodes that are sequential, like you go with Ticketmaster, which leads into Best Night Ever, and, you know, and you had 2 or 3 in there which basically allude to the Grand Galloping Gala. So how's the continuity handled nowadays? Do you as the story editor for the entire season basically go, okay guys, this is with a major story arc going through season 3, and you're gonna write this part, you're gonna write this part, you're gonna write this part, but make sure that it all ties in?
Well, yeah, this is something that we sort of got a little bit of a chance to talk about at the New York Comic Con that I think is really interesting about the show, is that all the episodes have to be standalone.
Right.
That you have to be able to watch them without having to know anything about an episode that came before it, or an episode or have to watch the episode that comes after it for it to make sense. One of the reasons is because when they are aired internationally, they aren't necessarily aired in the order in which they are produced.
Okay.
So, for instance, if we got too serialized with things, someone watching overseas could see them completely out of order, and then it wouldn't make any sense to them.
Right.
But that being said, we like to be able to thread things together so that when you do watch them in order, you could kind of put together things and say, "Oh, I see what you did there." And it happens sort of visually. And then there are some things that, like in the first season, it was definitely like with the Grand Galloping Galley, they knew that they could sort of do a trilogy in a sense of episodes that would stand alone and then ultimately lead to the big finale of that. So, we try to incorporate some of that and think about that at the very beginning, where we're going and how we can kind of plant some clues to that. But at the same time, do these standalone episodes.
Cool. I was wondering about that myself. Okay, how about this one? When a writer throws you a curveball, like Pinky Sense coming up and feeling peeking keen, was that actually part of her Bible for Pinkie Pie? Did she actually have Pinky Sense in, say, the original Bible, or did the writer throw that curveball in there so that, all of a sudden anybody who writes for Pinkie Pie later on has to remember she has this? It's sort of like, was that actually originally in her character?
I don't remember it being in her character description in the original Bible. I think it was something that, as far as I know, that was something that Lauren came up with. Lauren and Rob came up with premises, I think, for most of the premises for the first 2 seasons. So I think it was just a fun idea that she had. That she decided to give that new aspect of that new aspect of Pinkie Pie, and it became that episode. But part of the fun when a show is developing, and when you're kind of brought in early on, is that you do help to add to some of these character traits, because not every single detail of everything is conceived right from the beginning.
Right.
Part of the fun is, as the series progresses, you introduce new aspects of their personality or new interests, or get deeper into their character.
Yes.
So they don't. It's not really so much like throwing a curveball, but adding something that you have to try to continue it as the series goes on, just like with their catchphrases that they kind of throw out sometimes.
Yeah, 20% cooler and just needs to be 20% cooler. I got to come up with a new picture for this next question.
Okay.
And here it comes. Everybody's favorite princess of the night.
Yes.
Why hasn't Luna shown up in more episodes? I mean, is there something about her character that makes it difficult to write for? Is there something that Hasbro is keeping her from us for some reasons? Something that incorporating in the episodes? We see tons of Celestia, but is there something in her past or something going forward that we're going to see that's going to explain why she's never around?
I would say that she probably hadn't been in as much in the first 2 seasons. Especially with Celestia. Celestia has a very particular relationship with Twilight. I mean, she's her mentor, and in so much of what the show is about, Twilight learning about friendship, and so their relationship is I guess more I guess than Luna's is. That being said, I think we're gonna perhaps see something in a future episode that will explain what Luna does.
Would that be alluding to the little black checkbook that she was showing off at the end of the episode? No. I was wrong. Darn it.
Sort of, but no.
I knew it. It was the checkbook, and Twilight now has the knowledge that she can balance the kingdom's checkbook. That was all it was.
It's Luna's little black book.
Luna's little black book.
But I'm that not.
Okay. Okay. have there been any last-minute additions, changes to the episodes, sort of like pickups on a live-action movie? Do you get to a point where it's like a line doesn't work when you're doing after the voice actors do their bit, and then you go ahead and try to do the animation? Is it somewhere where the line doesn't work? You have to bring somebody back in. How do pickups work in cartoons?
It is I haven't been as involved in that. I haven't been involved in that process, but just from previous on other shows, yeah, you certainly you'll do record, and sometimes it'll all end up cut together because they don't all with Tara, she doesn't record in the same room, so they have to cut her into the record,
right.
And you listen to the whole thing together, and on shows I've been in the past, yeah, sometimes you would hear that whole thing, and then you would say, that's not quite the way that we wanted that line to go, and you'll get a pickup that usually the next time they come in to record the next episode, you'll say, okay, it's a list of pickup lines, and so it's not too difficult of a thing to do, and I've heard even like for The Simpsons, they do that stuff like right up to the very last possible second change. And I don't think that happens that much on this show, and I imagine 99% of the time our voice actors much because they're also freaking good.
Oh yeah, Lee. I tell you what, you do so much music in your episodes. Let me make my list here. In your episodes, you wrote "Hop, Skip, and a Jump," the Cupcake song, Pinky's singing Telegram, the Pony Everybody Should Know, love that one, Perfect Stallion, the Ballad of the Crystal Empire, the Failure Song, and BBBFF. I mean, you've got a regular album going here. Jeez, prolific, aren't you? Describe the process with Daniel Ingram on crafting a song. I know you've written the episode, you've written the lyrics, as it were. But how does it come together? Do you and him sequester yourself in a dark room and you beat him with a stick, or how does that work?
He gets the scripts because he's up in I'm down here in LA. He gets a copy of the script, and almost I feel like most of the time, with the exception of a handful of songs, they're written by the person who wrote the script. They'll also be written by whoever wrote the script. And, get it, and he'll look over those lyrics, and then he'll do his amazing process of finding the melody and finding the song. And I know the goal with my songs is, and this is a term that he taught me that I didn't know that this is what it was, but where my lyrics will scan, which means when you read through my lyrics, you can feel what the rhythm of the song should be. It doesn't feel like you're kind of going along with a certain rhythm, and then all of a sudden it goes some crazy direction that like how you're supposed to create a melody that matches that. So I know that that's like my process on my end to hopefully make his job a little bit easier. is to write songs that feel like they have a flow rhythmically, because I don't necessarily hear a tune in my head when I'm writing the lyrics. I'm really just writing a poem that I feel like has a rhythm that would work well in song, and then he takes that and just turns it into gold.
Poems work for the Doors, and it works for just about everybody. Okay. Who is your writing hero?
Who is my writing hero?
Yeah. Who is your favorite writer?
Wow. I really like the Coen brothers, I guess, for film. I really like those guys. And when I was younger, Maya Angelou was probably one of the poet who was one of the first writers that I kind of knew who she was and thought she was so just really talented. But yeah, I guess those are my main ones, I guess. More prepared for questions.
Well, that's why we do the hard-hitting questions on this program. The hard-hitting questions. Like, every writer has that one novel inside them, right? I'm sure you've had, like, that one novel. How would you feel about, say, Hasbro comes to you and says, we want to do paperback books a la Star Wars with
Right.
My Little Pony. Would you jump at that, and what would it be about?
Wow, I would jump at that. I think I would want to do kind of get into some of the mythology stuff that we can't always show on screen because we have sort of this serialized element to the show. So I think something that shows more of Celestia and Luna, the younger years. That would be really really interesting to do. So I think that's what I would want to. I would want to explore that time period. Obviously, a lot of crazy things happened 1,000 years ago. I say
1,000 years ago.
1,000 years ago because, give or take.
Yeah, 500 years. Because we had, let's see, Princess Luna was sent to the moon 1,000 years ago.
Yes.
And King Sombrero was trapped in the ice 1,000 years ago.
I think to me, when I wrote that, I would say I picture 1,000 years to Celeste is sort of
A
that's
wink,
her
a blink.
kind of that's her average. Like, oh, it was 1,000 years ago.
That was 1,000 years ago. I'm old enough. Yeah, 1,000 years was yesterday. So.
I would not, in my mind, those events were not right on top of each other.
Yeah,
So-
a lot of people have been going, nah, they weren't.
Not necessarily, they weren't necessarily far apart.
Yeah.
But
Here's a question. You're in LA, which of course you have the Screenwriters Guild and the roles of the agents and that sort of thing in working in LA. How is it different working on a production in Canada? Do the rules change? You got a big Hollywood system of professional stuff. Do the rules for working on a Canadian production actually change, or is it the same thing?
pretty much the same thing on our end. Yeah, it's not really. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I mean, we don't have a staff, so everybody's contracted per episode, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the same on any show as well, where you have freelance writers. So on our end, it's not really an animation. You don't get residuals, unfortunately, like you do in primetime.
Aww. That stinks.
They can air cartoons till the end of time, but yeah,
That's sad.
it's a little sad.
That's sad. You do all that work and create wonderful things, and then you don't get other than the props that you're getting now, which leads me to my next question. How weird is it for you and say Mitch and other writers who are now getting this huge ground swelling of appreciation that that we as bronies have given you, as you should get, but it doesn't happen. It didn't happen on Foster's that I know of, or any of these other shows that you're on. How has it changed a little bit for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's amazing. I mean, all of the fact that any episode. It's amazing. It's never happened before, and I don't know that it will ever happen again in my career. I mean, I certainly I want to work on Pony forever, but but if I was on a show sometime, I don't think that interest in inside, and I just think that's such a that they recognize that it takes lots of different there's lots of different pieces to the puzzle, and they're interested in every single piece. I also I love too that people. I was actually emailing with Dave Polson, who wrote the Too Many Pinkie Pies episode today, and we were both talking about how there's big discussions going on message boards and stuff about the episode, and I would just think that's so amazing that people are having these really deep and thoughtful discussions about something that we wrote, and it's something that we never when we signed up for it, we never thought, oh yeah, people are gonna have these really intense conversations about the show about pastel ponies that we're working on.
It's weird for me. I mean, look at me. I'm like this 44-year-old biker dude, and but I've been into cartoons and comics and all that stuff for all my life, and I finally find something that really is, speaking to me. So I'm part of it, and I'm going to be part of it. Speaking about, now that you're talking with him about, what they wrote. So how much of the fan? I know you can't read fan fiction, of course. We can't touch that because you're a writer. But how much of the other stuff have you seen? The music, the art, the animated clips. How much of that have you seen, and what's your favorite stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I try to check out a lot of stuff, and then I've gotten a chance to meet some of the musicians at different cons, so I've been trying to check out more of their stuff too. I mean, I just kind of will just randomly click on things and just see stuff that people have done, and just always just blown away by it. And that's another aspect of the show that's so great, is just feeling like you're a part of something that it's bigger than the show itself. All the things that are happening outside of the show are so just so amazing and inspiring. I really like that. I really like all the mashups that people do of taking the different movie trailers and stuff, which I do not know how people do that.
Well, it's a lot of Sony Vegas and a lot of time.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. I've got one for you. Where to go? He made me such a list here. Which background pony would you like to see have their own episode?
Oh.
Fleshed out more. So we see more of their background, and they have their own little friendship problem that they have to talk to Celestia about.
I'm gonna go with Dr. Hooves.
Dr. Hooves. And people, she just called him Dr. Hooves. Not Time Turner.
Uh-oh. Yeah,
Gonna have to...
That's his other name that people go by.
Yeah, well, that's Hasbro's name for him, because the BBC are a little,
Oh, okay.
tentative about the whole doctor thing, because it's basically keeping them afloat. Let's see. Oh, I got to change the picture again because I got another one. Let's see. This one is specifically from Care to Win himself. He said, I have to ask this question. Come on, picture. I'm waiting for it. Who do we have to bribe to get Applejack her own episode and her own song?
Nobody.
Really? Is there something going on I should know about?
I just don't think that it will be necessary to bribe anybody.
I see. So, okay, Care to Win, checkbook in the back pocket, because I don't think we got a briber this time. So, yes. Because Applejack, of course, is his favorite pony. Favorite pony. And I have one more Luna question for you. What are your take on these 3 words? Dear Princess Luna.
What is my take on that?
Yes. Dear Princess Luna.
I was writing a Dear Princess Luna.
Yeah. Who do you think would be writing to Princess Luna, and what would they say?
Oh gosh, that's good. It's hard for me to answer that question without kind of giving something. No one's gonna. Oh my god.
Shh. I don't want spoilers. I don't want spoilers at all. Nope. No spoilers. But, okay, get Luna off there. Go. Done. Okay.
Right.
Shh.
Nope, I'm not trying to set anything up too crazy. I just. It's weird. I'm excited to see when some things happen on the show. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see what happens off the show.
Yes, because there's a huge following for our Princess of the Night.
Like it will inspire some interesting things.
Including me. Oh, it's inspired a lot. There's a lot of things it's inspired that you ain't seen. She's huge. Huge now. Okay, I've got one here, which was sent to me by my very good friend Headless Horse, who is part of the Roundstable crew, and he asked me to ask this. We as fans like to read Lesson Zero as an allegory for the writing staff itself. Getting short on story ideas for the end of Season 1, being unable to think of a good friendship lesson for the week, or how to make it involve Twilight somehow, and freaking out and panicking until they decided to solve the problem by changing the rules of the show itself and letting all the ponies write some letters, relaxing the format in which they're delivered. Is that how it happened, and was it Lauren's idea or somebody else's?
The original premise came from, I believe, Lauren and Rob, because at that point that premise was assigned to me. It wasn't one that I came up with originally.
Okay.
I can't speak to that if that was what was kind of going on in her mind when she was writing it. I mean, when she came up with the premise.
Mm-hmm.
I can say when I was writing it was very easy for me to get into the mindset of, oh dear God, I have a deadline. I have not started yet. I better come up with something really quickly.
5 cups of espresso later.
That was a very it was a very easy thing for me to get into.
Keep it together. One other thing, Princess. Between the 2-parter at the end of Season 2 and the 2-parter at the end of the beginning of Season 3, we have 4 episodes featuring Cadence and Shining Armor. 4 in a row. One, did Andrew Francis bribe you or something? To get,
He's not.
to get 4 in a row there. But other than that, with Princess Cadence, we haven't seen her fly. We've seen her glide. She was thrown by her husband, for crying out loud. But we haven't seen her actually fly. Does she fly, or does she just glide everywhere? Do we know?
I'm trying to... I think she can fly. She's got wings.
She's got wings, but we haven't seen her actually fly. We've seen her get javelined into the air, but...
Which I love.
That was awesome, by the way. I'm sitting there going, how are they going to get out? What?
That was all board artists just
was it?
Just kicking some butt.
That was awesome. That was cool. We are at the half-hour point of the show, so what we're going to do, we're going to set these aside. So we're going to set those aside, and we're going to go into commercial. So we have a brand new sponsor this week. Brand new sponsor. So after we come back, we're going to have your questions with one Meghan McCarthy, and we'll have Screwball in the chat to control you, I hope. So, we'll be back in just a couple minutes with more Meghan McCarthy.
Are you tired of the high-pressure sales tactics from rank amateur merchants? Are you tired of shady characters trying to take you and your bits for a ride? Would you really rather be shopping in a glorified flea market? Don't want to pay Canterlot prices? Avoid the bucksters and the snake oil salesman. Come to Ponyville's oldest family-run business, Rich's Barnyard Bargains. You'll find us at the corner of Appleton Way and Stirrup Street. Look for the billboards. You can't miss them. There, you will find a warm, brightly lit, and friendly atmosphere. We have everything from alfalfa to Zap Apple Jam.
Look at all that stuff!
Oh yes, we carry home improvement supplies and tools for all those last-minute weekend projects. And remember, Rich's Barnyard Bargains. If it ain't filthy and it ain't stinking, then it ain't rich.
That's right, ponies. If it ain't filthy and it ain't stinking, then it ain't rich. And you can go down to Rich's Barnyard Bargains any day of the week and get yourself some Zap Apple Jam. You can get yourself some alfalfa. You can get yourself some hay. You can get anything you need down there at Rich's Barnyard Bargains. You can even get t-shirts, bags, posters from WeLoveFine.com, because I saw it last time I was down there right over in the corner. So you ponies can go get all that swag. But you humans, you'll have to go to WeLoveFine.com And you can use EFR10 to get 10% off your entire order, and you can get the shirt for this very show. Stay brony, my friends, over there at WeLoveFine.com. And we're back with Screwball.
Oh, I can't say it okay.
I can't either right now because I'm still getting over the throat thing.
Oh yeah, are you still eating a lot of ice cream?
Yeah, eating ice cream. It's a little better now. You know, it's not razor blades anymore. It's just sharp pins. So I should be good by the end of the week. And get back on the projects because they're all backing up now.
It's still terrible. Pins. Ew.
I know.
Don't make me think of that stuff. Come on.
I know. Hey, we got to get going because Megan's only got a half an hour left with us, so we're going to get this done and we got to get started. We need some people. We need some questions.
Oh my lord, there's tons of questions, so I'll just get right on to it. This one is from, wait 1 second, I'm making sure that I got the right one. So this one is from Dirty Jim on Twitter. Question is, what steps does one take to get into script writing or writing in general?
Well, I went to film school and kind of focused more on screenwriting, but that is not necessary. I think figure out what kind of writing is fits your brain the best, because screenwriting is really, to me, really a particular type of writing, and so you have to really understand it and make sure that it's the right fit for you. But I think everything is just you have to start by writing and trying to do it as frequently as you can. And then just keep doing it and keep getting better at it and find people who will give you honest feedback on your writing, not people that will tell you what you want to hear, but tell you what you need to hear so that you can get better. And as far as trying to actually get into to writing professionally, try to get yourself stuff out there. I actually, my career started because I won a screenwriting contest, Disney's test, where they would take spec scripts and then they would pick 3 people for that year to come in and have a fellowship with them, and I did that. Kind of started me off on the path. But first of all, you have to start by writing and doing it all the time and just get better and better and not be write things that aren't very good, because that happens and then it just helps you improve.
Nice.
Yes.
This one is from Firemain. He says he was honored to meet you and give you that carving.
Which I
remember him.
Which I am looking at right now. I have it hanging in my office.
Yes.
I have mine hanging right above on my desk, and it's just adorable.
Yeah, he just did.
But his question is.
Go ahead.
No, you finished.
Okay. He just did a new carving of pumpkin cake for Andrea Libman, which is going to be auctioned. So keep an eye out for that.
That was adorable. But the question is Sombra's name, is it based on Sombra Negra Spanish for Black Shadow, or was there something else to his reference to his name being Shadow in Spanish?
Yeah, that is what it is supposed to be.
Awesome.
Nice. I like that. That's awesome. So this one is from Pink Pearl Apple. It's a tongue twister for me. Hi Megan. How long does it take to finish an episode? Writing table to TV ready?
It is about a 9-10 month process. So yeah, that you've just seen. We wrote a really long time ago.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a long process for sure.
Huh. I didn't. Wow. So this one is from Imperious. Question for Megan: do you read MLP fanfics, and if so, have you ever gotten any idea from one?
Not read any of them because I don't want to ever even just have something in my brain that I'm like, oh, this sounds good, and forget that I read it somewhere. So I just do. which is unfortunate because I'm sure some of them are really good. But yeah, it's better if I don't.
Nice. Sorry, I'm just speed reading. Okay, so this one is from Wub and Tolerate. Question is, sorry, I'm trying my best here. When you wrote the script for Crystal Empire Part 1 and Part 2, and most bronies here would like to know, why does King Sombra only have a couple lines following in some grunts and laughs for both parts?
You know what? I think when I first conceived of him, I really had sort of Sauron, Lord of the Rings, from Lord of the Rings, sort of in.
Nice.
Just this very dark presence, because there was something very, very terrifying to me about just darkness and something and an evil that you just feel and just sense is there, but doesn't quite have eventually takes sort of a physical form, and we saw I just like this idea, this kind of evil presence, because so much of it is about how the emotions of the crystal ponies and how to be in this sort of positive place, and to me that something could terrify you when it's not even really there with you, was kind of just a fascinating concept to me. So that was kind of what was in my head.
Reminded me a lot of Aku.
Yes, yeah.
Especially with the flaming eyeballs. We needed. Yeah. What? Go ahead. I'll think of it in a minute.
Okay. Sorry, Trax just messaged me stuff. So this one is from Minnie Applejack. Adding my question to the queue. Who would you like to work with that you have not been able to work with yet?
Oh, like voice actor wise, or writer wise, or just
any wise
that I would want to. Oh, gosh, I don't know. I work with some pretty awesome people. I feel like there's not really anybody that I'm like. I mean, I think it would be fun to be in like a writer's room with certain, with funny people on shows that I like. But yeah, there's not anybody that I'm like, oh, I really want to work with them. I like all the people that I'm around already.
J. Michael Straczynski.
What's that? Say that again.
J. Michael Straczynski.
Babylon
5.
Sorry.
Huh?
Sure, yeah.
Oh yeah. I'd love to see you guys get together. It'd be awesome. Next story. Next.
So this. Yep. This is for Luminaire to Megan. What got you interested in doing MOPFIM?
What got me interested? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Well, Lauren Faust. She came to me and was doing the show and asked me to come on and write on it. And I had worked with her before on Foster's, and I had been to her house previously. And she had the most awesome, amazing display of all her My Little Ponies from when she was a kid. And I just knew that this was like her dream being realized, and that she was just going to make it something awesome. And so I knew that I wanted to be a part of that for sure.
Cool. Next.
So this one is from Toasty Pony Strudels. Love that name. Question is, why did King Sombra take over the Crystal Empire? We know about the whole slavery thing, but was there more to it at all?
Yeah, I mean, there's more to it as far as he's I picture him as this sort of evil presence, and he has dark magic and wants to almost say he wants to see how far he can take that dark magic, and sort of how far he can plunge the world into his vision of what it should be of darkness and evil. And I think with the Crystal Empire, I mean, we kind of set up that whatever sort of happening there, that feeling, that magic, that emotion sort of gets spread across Equestria. And so it's certainly you are one who wants to spread evil, it's certainly a good place to start. So yeah, I don't know if I can get into it more than that, but.
I got one.
So this one...
Oh, wait. I got one. Some live action shows have had their actors take a stab at writing or directing a show. Anyone in the Pony VA squad been poking around going, hey, I got a script?
Not really.
Oh.
No, I would listen to their ideas for sure. But yeah, nobody's really said I wanted to do this, or I'd like to see my character to have this sort of story. Not yet.
Oh.
I don't know.
Hey, Andrew, I think she's open to it. Okay. Next.
So this one is from Burnt Mango. Before your career, were most of your friends also artists and writers, or did you pursue your writing independently?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I only had a couple other friends, I think, that were interested in writing. Later, I went to film school, so certainly people that I met there, that was what they wanted to do. But growing up, and if I think about high school, I think I'm the only person from my class that became a writer. And then I had some friends that became artists. But yeah, I wasn't surrounded by. That wasn't my core group of people that I was with all the
time. Sorry, I'm just reading through. Here we go. So this one's from SciPi. Question is, I'd like to know how / if Meghan's previous experiences on shows such as Class of 3000 and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends have had influence on your writing style.
Influence my writing style?
Yeah.
I think just having worked on them and just having worked on different shows, just you get better as you go. You learn more about your craft and even just how to be in a writer's room, how to get your ideas across without people getting irritated with you. How to know when to drop an idea. So certainly just being in those writers' rooms, you really learn a lot just about how to work with other people as much as you do about the actual writing. And then on Class of 3000, I had a story editor role on that, so that certainly prepared me for having to sort of oversee other writers and run the room.
Awesome.
So this one is from, I hope I say your name right, Zeravia. Question is, how did you come up with the ideas for the songs and storyline that you edited? Did it just come up to you, or was there an inspiration involved?
I missed the very first part of what you said.
Yeah?
Oh.
Say the question again, Screwy.
Sorry. I cut out for a sec there. Question is, how did you come up with the ideas for the songs and storyline that you edited? Did it just come up to you, or was there an inspiration involved?
I heard you say the song, but the song for which one?
For any storyline, any music.
Well, when we're breaking a story, the show has musical numbers, and that we can play with that within the story. So when we're breaking an episode, we will find places where organically it just feels like this would be a really fun place to have a song, or even the emotions that are being expressed by this character we could really see playing out musically. So during the process of breaking the story is when we decide to put in a song or not, and then we just kind of go from there.
And do you ever have any inspiration involved in it at all?
Do I have what?
Do you ever have any inspiration?
Oh, inspiration, like for what the songs will be? Yeah, sure. I mean, I know Amy Rogers has mentioned that she has sort of Stephen Sondheim has been in her head when she's done some of her songs, and I think definitely with the wedding episode, with This Day Aria, I was very much thinking of just sort of the classic Disney musical numbers, where it just feels really big and sweeping in emotions. So that's kind of what was in my mind, especially on that particular song.
Awesome. Another question from the same person is, where did I put you? Oh yeah, dare I ask, who is your favorite pony and which is the most fun to write about?
I don't really have a favorite one. I really do genuinely like them all, because I think they all have just different aspects of their personality that I really respond to. I guess the easiest one for me to write for is Twilight, because I probably relate to her the most. And then I think I would actually, was not asked, but I will answer it anyway. The hardest one I think to write for is Applejack. Because she's the hardest one to fluster. She's kind of the most even keel of any of them, and when with comedy and conflict, you're trying to throw them in a situation that's gonna create conflict or create comedy, and she's just so together. I feel like so she's probably the hardest one to write for, but I love her for that too, because it just makes her kind of different from the other ones and really lovable.
Cool. This one is from Mac Attack. For Megan, has there been any defining moments in your career where you had to overcome adversity to continue with your writing career?
Yes. When I first started, I sold a spec script for a movie in a bidding war, and I thought, this is it. I never have to worry again. I'm all of a sudden going to be the biggest big shot writer in the world, and then I had to write another one, and I got a really horrible case of writer's block, because I started thinking about what people wanted from me rather than what I wanted to write. And that's never a good place to write from. That's good advice for writers too. Is write what you really genuinely feel and what you really want to write. Don't try to guess what's hot right now or what people are going to want to read, because you can get horrible writer's block, as I did, or you'll end up writing something that then everyone will expect you to continue writing that type of material when it wasn't really the kind of thing that you liked writing. So that was something where I had to really kind of push past that and stop trying to guess what was going to be the next big thing for me, and just write.
Yeah, it'll end up coming out being forced.
Say that again?
It'll end up being forced, Yeah. I get the same thing when I'm trying to come up with new stuff for the show. And I went into a dry spell because some of the early stuff I did was really fun and people loved it, and I went, I got to follow that up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're your own worst enemy in that situation. You are just trying to figure out what you can do to appeal to people rather than write from.
Than just having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Next. So this one is from James Justice! Oh, man, I love that name. A question for Megan. What is your favorite episode that you wrote?
What's my favorite episode that I wrote?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Party of One. Because I really had so much fun writing that one, and it turned into something even... The finished product is even better than what I thought it would be when I turned in the script, and it was just really fun.
Yeah, the board writer, the boarders did such wonderful faces with Pinky.
Yes.
So this one is from Late Metal. Megan, as a fan of the show, I've really enjoyed the special hour-long episodes like A Canterlot Wedding and The Crystal Empire. How do you feel about the longer two-part format as a writer? Do you enjoy writing for the longer episodes, or is it more difficult than writing for the typical show length?
They both have their pros and cons. I like being able to write the two-parters because I think we get to do some pretty big, fun kind of set piece sort of stuff that is a little harder to do on the half hours. But and sometimes I feel like two-parters aren't enough. It's almost this in between. I think that's kind of the challenge with the two-parter is it's almost this in between where normally you have 3 acts of a typical story, and it's almost like this weird. You have 6 acts, and where you're going to break the story, and how you have to cliffhang it in the middle in a way that feels like you want to come back for the second half, and finding that place to break the story can be tough, but it's a fun challenge. I mean, I think that's true of all the episodes on the show. Is that every challenge is fun. I mean, it's when you figure out how to do it, it's really satisfying.
So. Going past that, if you want to go into the next realm of what's might come, almost every iteration of My Little Pony's had a movie, straight to DVD. So would it be more fun to write a movie-length script than even a single episode?
Yeah, I think that would be super fun because again, you can get a little deeper on some things and have sort of big huge set pieces that you can really blow out because you have the time to do that. I know that's what I was gonna say with the two-parters. What's tough is that you want to have these big, huge, awesome set piece in the third act of the second half, and you don't have the same amount of time. You have to wrap things up a little quicker than you'd like sometimes.
Yeah.
But with the movie, you could definitely really get in some really cool stuff. So I'm all for that.
Does it ever get frustrating when like the time that you're given, there's so much that you want to put out more, but you have so much little time to put into the episode that doesn't ever get a little crazy yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that that you have part of writing is trying to figure out what not to write. And so that gets really difficult when you're writing a two-parter, but it's not quite as big as you want to be. Is how much can you show and express, and sometimes you will have like a lot of backstory or a lot of other things that you want to express that you're just not gonna be able to have the time to do, but you kind of don't want to not try to make it as big as you can. I want to try to aim for something huge, and then if it doesn't quite get exactly, if you can't show everything, at least you got in a lot of stuff that you wanted.
Was there a point in any of the things that you've written or anything you've, as a group, the My Little Pony writers group, come up across where you had to drop something out of an episode that was really integral to a piece of the backstory that you really didn't want to drop but had to?
I feel like there was probably, I mean, it's been a while, I feel like there was some stuff in the Crystal Empire episodes that I ended up having to cut for time. But for the most part, it usually ends up in there. Or Jason will get it and he will find different edits to make, and he's usually like right on with, yeah, that wasn't, we could kind of do without that, or we could cut something down. So there hasn't been too much of that, but I do remember with Crystal Empire there were some things that I ended up having to get rid of. I can't recall what all of them are now, but I do remember kind of being like, oh nope, that's gotta go.
So we can expect a director's cut sometime soon?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much of they actually boarded or like that, but
Go Screwy.
So this one is from Exohun. Question for Megan. Have you or any of the writers ever thought of writing the Daring Do novels for paperback release?
I think it's awesome. You know, maybe if you guys send in enough petitions to Hasbro, they'll do something like that. I think that would be great. I mean, again, I think that's one of the really just the coolest fun aspects of this show is so much happens off screen. There's like this whole world that's not seen on the actual show that has been elaborated on by the fans and deepened sort of by the fans and the stuff that they are creating and the stuff that they're talking about. And so I think that would be really cool. I think they should get on that right away.
Honestly, would love to see that. It's sort of an Indiana Jones style. Oh man, that would just blow up the fandom. Everyone would love that.
Yes.
So this one is from this one's from Edmund Prenter. Question for Megan: What challenges have you faced now with season 3 being story editor as well as a writer?
Well, let's see. I mean, when I was working on the season premiere, I had to start, coming up with new premises and breaking stories with the other writers. So it was having to juggle the time of, what I was, my own scripts that I was working on, but also having to read and give notes and make revisions to other people's scripts. And that's kind of just the general challenge of being a story editor is that there's constantly stuff coming in. You'll get someone's outline, and then you'll have someone's first draft, and then you'll be getting notes on someone else's draft, and sometimes you can kick it back to the writer, and sometimes it's faster to do it yourself, but you have to kind of juggle that with the other episodes that you're working on simultaneously. I mean, there's just a million things going on at once, and luckily I have good people up at DHX who send me emails to remind me what all I'm supposed to be doing.
Oh man. So this one is from Flygon Pony. To Megan, who is your favorite villain?
Villain. I think that
maybe put a Y.
Why is that why are they my favorite villain? I think Discord is my favorite. Just because I think John Delancey just knocked it out of the park with he's just fun. So yeah, that's definitely he's fun to write, and I like that he's just so tricky and sneaky, and it's fun to write someone that has a different agenda and you're not quite sure what they're trying to do or accomplish. They're sneaky, and I like that.
This one is from Leatherneck Brony. Megan, was wondering if either you or any other DHX staff have seen the fan-made video called Picture Perfect Pony, and what is your opinion of it?
Say Picture Perfect Pony?
Yeah.
I don't think that I have seen that, but I will I will check it out for sure.
Yeah, check that out after show. It's an original Mando Pony song which was animated by a gentleman that just nailed it.
Yes, I have seen that. I'm sorry. Yes, I have. It's awesome. I think I didn't recognize the name at first, but yes, I have seen that. It's very cool.
What's your thoughts on it?
It's really cool. I think I'm thinking of the right thing. I feel like I just saw it recently. But in case I'm not thinking of the right thing, but
cool.
So this one is from Sleepy German. Question is, how do you writers decide who's going to write next episode, or is it just random?
Well, we have and I think they do a similar thing with the board artists as well. There's usually a rotation, so we'll have however many episodes, and someone will be writing, like Dave would write 303. So depending on how many writers you would have in your rotation, then he would write 3 episodes later or 4 episodes later he would write the next one. So usually it just goes by by who's kind of next in the rotation. But certain episodes, if you know that a writer is like particularly good with a certain character's voice, or particularly good with songs, or particularly good with action, then it also can just be a let's give this one to so and so because they'll do a great job with this particular story. So it can kind of go either way. It just depends.
Cool. Keep going. Screwy.
I know. Give me a chance. Sorry, I just need to find that one nice scene. Oh yeah, here we go. So this one's from Nerfly. Question for Megan: how did your OC pony come to be?
She was created by Glittering Pony, who is in charge of Equestria LA. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to pronounce his Kawaimo is the other guy who drew her. And they asked me what my cutie mark would be, and I said I would like it to be a typewriter. And so that's what they did. And I had already, I have pink in my hair, and so they gave her the pink stripe in her blonde mane to make it look like me. So shout out to those guys because I love it, and now I have awesome wood carvings of it and paper craft of it, and now I have a cutie mark patch that I'm getting a jacket to put that on. So those two are the ones that came up there.
You gave me like that pin. You gave me that pin of your OC, and I still have that right here actually. So, but I noticed that when I met you, you're all about the pink. As either a pink pants or a pink shirt all the time.
Yeah, it's like my new signature pants. I have my hot pink pants.
That's awesome.
But I'm expanding. I have an electric blue pair now too. So.
Cool.
So this one is from Some Blue Things. I have a question. Screw cute. For Megan. How does it feel to be in the heart of this great fandom? How do you take it from us?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I love it, and I love that there's such a community. When I was at Equestria LA, and I got to hang out with Dusty and it's I just love how it's brought all these different people together and really just created this wonderful place where people can create art and music and talk about kind of serious sort of emotional stuff, but coming off of a really fun show. I'm every time I meet somebody new, I'm just amazed at what an interesting person they are. I think it's just brought together a lot of really fascinating people.
What really blew my mind is that we get in early, and it's Thursday, right? And I get a text from M.A. Larson. He says, "We're drinking. Where are you?" I'm around the corner. Get here. Okay, so I show up, and I just think it's him, right? I show up. And it's Megan and her sister. I don't remember your sister's name. I'm sorry.
Yes. And she yeah. is like this. That was her first time, coming to a convention and meeting bronies. And I had tried to explain it to her before, and she was just, oh my gosh, this is like amazing, and you're just a part of something that's so cool. And yeah, she's really nice as well.
Yeah,
she's such a kind person too.
Yeah, she was. So we get there, right? And all of a sudden I sit down and Mitch buys me a beer. He buys everybody a beer. And then I have my beer, and all of a sudden Megan goes, "Dusty!" She comes around and takes a picture with me. I was like, wait a minute, time out. I'm in backwards world. Because now... It's...
Before I went to that con, I said, if I don't get to meet DustyKatt at this con, it is a wasted con.
Oh. Then you tell me the story of the story meeting.
Yeah, we're in a story meeting, and someone was talking about, kind of talking about internet and bronies and all this stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, you mean DustyKatt. And they were like, oh, okay, yeah, that's one of you.
Yeah. That better be good. Keep going, Screwy.
Yep, so this one is from Blame. what is the story with Cadence? Was she always going to be an alicorn, or was that change that was made along with along the way?
I believe that because I got the premise, and when I wrote the script, I believe when I wrote the script, she was always an alicorn. That's what I remember. I mean, I remember writing her description, and I believe I wrote that she was an alicorn in the first draft that I did. But I wrote it a long time ago, so I'm sorry if I don't recall exactly how that went down. But yeah, as far as I remember, that's how she was always written in the scripts.
The thing that was weird to me is that, okay, the Crystal Empire appears after 1,000 years invisible, yet when we get there, she is the ponies say it's the Crystal Princess, and her cutie mark matches the Crystal Heart.
This is what I'm talking about not being able to have as much stuff in his as you might want to.
Yes, there's some background there. Hopefully we find out later. There's something going on.
She's born to be the princess, and it's been some kind of myth or something. We'll figure it out eventually.
Born to be queen, she's the princess of the universe. Oh, no, go ahead.
So this one is from Blitzwing00. Question is, I noticed the season 2 premiere was there was a Star Wars reference. Season 3 was Lord of the Rings. The season 1 finale was the gala, and season 2 was a wedding. Is it international? Is it intentional to have the premieres to have a movie theme and the finales to have a social / girly, for lack of a better word, theme?
I don't think that is intentional. That I had never really thought about that before, but I guess that's kind of true. Yeah, I don't think it's a master plan. If it is, nobody told me about it.
Do you guys ever like just out of nowhere, like, hey, let's put in a movie theme just for the laugh of the audience? Do you guys usually do that a lot, or
like references and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times they're not as they aren't scripted as much. A lot of that happens in the board process, where they will add gags or add background ponies or things like that will specifically reference a movie. There are some things coming up that were scripted that definitely reference some classic sci-fi. So yeah, it's just kind of if it feels right, you put it in. If it and also if you don't feel like it's just going to completely detract from the story and go off on some.
Oh yeah, you don't want to detract from the story. It's fun to have it in there, but don't take away from what's being told.
And you don't want it to be so much that like somebody can't watch the show 20 years from now and still get it. Mm-hmm. What's so great about animation is that you can't. I can watch a Popeye today and a Popeye cartoon and still think it's really fun and funny.
Yeah.
Because it's not constantly referencing things from when it was made. So I think there's a place for the references, and there are certain ones that just are, in a sense, are sort of timeless pop culture references. But yeah, you don't want to throw in too much of that stuff that will mean that like your kids can't show it to their kids and still like it and think it's fun.
Yeah, we watch Max Fleischer Popeyes around here all the time.
Oh, good. I was Popeye for Halloween, so.
Oh, I gotta have pictures of that.
I'll see what I can do.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
So this one is from Cowboy Dave. Question for Megan: what other projects are you working on outside of My Little Pony?
Well, I have my own stuff that I'm trying, my own original ideas that I'm trying to develop and get out there and stuff like that. So that's mainly it. Just my own little pet projects. And
as a voice actor, I work cheap.
I will keep
like Brie.
I will keep that in mind.
Or as a minion too. Oh, this one is from Marjan Lion? Question from Megan. How does it get a little overwhelming at times to be in the spotlight with a community that's grown to this size?
Um, yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm the keeper of so many secrets. It makes me a little nervous that I'm gonna reveal those secrets. But everybody's just so nice that it doesn't, when people come up and want to ask questions at a con or talk or whatever, I I'm excited about that and open to that. I don't feel really overwhelmed by it. So yeah, no, it's good.
This one is from Saberspark. Saber. Question is, Megan can see a good can see a good story, but can she see why bronies like Cinnamon Toast Crunch? AKA, what is your favorite fantasy book?
What's my favorite fantasy book?
Yeah.
That's good. I haven't read it in a really long time, but the one that I really liked as a kid was A Wrinkle in Time. But yeah, I mean, I haven't read it in a really long time, but I do remember. I feel like that was one of the first sort of fantasy books that I read that I was really into. And The Hobbit is awesome. And I need to read I guess it's not really fantasy. Well, sort of, I guess. The Game of Thrones stuff counts as fantasy.
Yeah.
I need to start. I need to read those books. I watched the show, but I haven't read the books, and I should probably do that.
Are you excited for the Hobbit movie?
Yes, I'm very excited for the Hobbit movie. I think it's good.
Oh, it's gonna be so awesome! Oh man, it's gonna be really good, but kind of odd that it's gonna be a trilogy. That's throwing me off.
That's kind of crazy. I don't know. I'm curious to see like where they end each of the.
Yeah.
Again, that's where he has. Where do you end? So the movie feels satisfying, but yet you want to move on to the next one. Not that he's going to have to convince anybody to come to the next one.
No.
So this one is from Imperious. Question for Megan: how much time passed between the end of season 2 and the beginning of season 3, storyline wise?
Oh, like in the world of Equestria, how much time has passed?
Correct.
Yeah.
I would say that it has not been. I picture it as a few months. Yeah, I feel like it's just been a few months. They're not right on top of each other.
So
Yeah.
Cadence and Shining Armor just got back from their honeymoon.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, go fix this.
Get a chance to celebrate their nuptials.
Right, instantly back to work after their honeymoon. So this one is from Wub and Tolerate. Question. I'll rephrase this one because it's kind of answered already. But what is your reaction? Well, actually, no. This one's answered. So what is your reaction to the whole Brony fandom, as well as everything they created, such as music, PMVs, art, that sort of thing?
I think it's great. I love the fact that the show inspires people to do their own creative, take on their own creative endeavors. I think, in addition to spreading these great messages of friendship, the fact that it makes people want to be creative, and express that creativity and have a forum in which they can do so and share it with other people, is just it's a beautiful thing, and I think it will continue. I hope it continues long after. I want the show to go on for all of my life, but if it were not to do that, then I really hope that the community and the creativity that springs from it goes on forever.
I'm hoping we become the next Star Trek fandom, that the show will end and we're big enough that they bring it back.
That's it to me.
But can they pull it off? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one is from Screw Loose. Screw Loose is the one that gave you that patch, by the way.
My awesome patch.
He's a very talented man, I'll tell you that. Question is, New Lunar Republic or Solar Empire?
Ooh. I'm gonna go with the New Lunar Republic.
Yes!
There you go. Yeah!
We're batting about 95% now.
This one is from Daring Do. Question for Megan. How closely are you working with the writers of the My Little Pony comic?
Its own separate thing. So not at all. I'm as excited about getting to read those as everybody else is. I'm sure they have looked at and referenced all the stuff that's been going on, that's happened on the show. But as far as interacting with them personally, nope.
The artist Andy just put 4 original pages from episode 1
I can see that.
on eBay.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you want one, I know I do. Go bid, but not the one I'm bidding on. Okay.
I actually had a bid war just yesterday. I was trying to get a Screwball plushie.
And you got it.
And I got it! Yeah! And I can't wait for it to get in the mail because I'm going to just cuddle with that thing for forever and ever.
Next, Screwy, next.
So this one is from Ironic Jest. Question is, was there a script which ended up being completely changed from the original concept before it was aired?
None of the episodes that I wrote. I mean, maybe things were cut, or certainly scenes were plussed by the board artists who added all kinds of amazingness. But I don't think there was anything that went down a road and got completely changed. I mean, once we kind of lock our scripts, they're locked, and there's not really any tossing things out and starting over or completely reworking things. I mean, I know they do rework some things at the board stage, but there's only so much that can happen at that stage, because once the train is moving, you can't stop. So yeah.
One second, I'm now completely I'm just, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm completely outrun by questions, and I just lost track of what I was doing. Dusty, do something quick.
Do something quick. Oh, I'm going to show off this really cool belt. I don't know if anybody's been to Hot Topic lately, but check this out.
Oh, I want that belt so bad.
Check that out. This thing was only like 23 bucks. It's got the Rainbow Dash belt buckle. Not only that, it's got one side is all the girls, and the other side is all the cutie marks, and it's reversible. That's awesome.
I need to get me one of those.
That's only 23 bucks.
I can't see the live stream now, but you said it was that Rainbow Dash belt buckle,
Yeah, it's
right?
a Rainbow Dash belt buckle. And in the right colors, too. Cutie mark's correct. It's awesome.
Is it like a detachable from the waist thing?
Yep.
From the... Cool, because you know what? I've been looking all over online for that thing, and I noticed they don't have it on. We need to talk after show, because I want one, and I'll pay you, and you can get me one if you can.
Yeah, you Canadians.
Yeah, no,
that's like the vinyl scratch backpack, which just came out, that Sipsy is like all up in arms about getting. At We Love Fine, but it costs so much for them to ship to Canada, so I need to talk to her, see if she wants one, and I can hook her up. So
happen, Dusty, make it happen.
I can make it happen. That's what I do. I make doo doo happen. That's what I do.
So this one is from Kim Kimira Times. Question is, Megan, in Hearts and Hooves, were there other ponies considered instead of Big Mac and Shirley as a couple?
No, I think they were all. We always knew that that's who it would be, because with the Cutie Mark Crusaders, the the pony that they would have sort of invested in trying to sort of hook them up would be their teacher. So we always knew it would be Truly, and then it just seemed like a fun fit for Big Mac, and then it was so great getting to get him to say some other things than he would normally ever.
Schmoopy doopy pudding pie.
Like that's the most fun character to have turn into that mushy guy.
Yeah. Of course, he had to go hitting.
Mushy.
Had to go hitting on Charlie. She's mine.
He loved Cheerly.
We graduated high school together. What can you do?
Exactly. So this one is from Burnt Mango. Question is, does the phenomenon of internet memes influence your creative process for new show material?
No. Yeah, I mean, we don't necessarily come up with ideas based off of different memes that are happening now. So, yeah.
What I liked what you guys did is in the Benny Hill chase scene. That was, and having Pinkie Pie chase Rainbow Dash like Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are timeless because those are things that everybody gets. But internet meme that comes and goes in 60 seconds, nah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I was speaking to earlier. Like you can't. You don't want to latch on things that are too of the moment, or it doesn't play later on.
No.
There's definitely shows that they can do that sort of wall-to-wall humor, but this one really has to be grounded in something a little bit different.
Well, what's your thoughts on Derpy, actually? Like, did you actually write that one? Because I never actually looked into it, honestly.
That was Amy Rogers. Yeah, I don't really have. I mean, I don't know. I hate that it became something that was a big deal, and I really hate it, especially for Amy, because I felt like she got kind of thrown into a storm that she really wasn't responsible for creating. She herself has a child with special needs, and so she's certainly the last person that would want to do anything that would upset anybody in that capacity. So really, it's really more my feeling on it is just that I feel bad that I feel like she had to go through some tough times as a result of how that all happened. So everyone be very good to her because she's a wonderful, 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 wonderful.
And if you're not good to her, I will find you. And we will have words. And you know what? If you want to hear from her, she's going to be on the program directly after this one. Osaka Jack is interviewing her directly when we're done, so don't go anywhere. Okay? One thing I wanted to ask you, Sarah Wall, the producer.
Yes.
We see her name come up every show, but we haven't heard hide nor hair of her. Is she somebody we should be sending cookies to?
Sure. I mean, she really oversees. She's up at DHX, and she oversees really just keeping everything on time and keeping everybody in line and just making sure the show actually happens.
Oh, so she's the most important pony.
Yeah, she's the one that can send out the email that's like, where is it? Get it to me or whatever.
You heard it, bronies. She needs cookies tomorrow. Make it happen. We could probably use Celestia's secretary as her OC.
Yeah, no.
There you go. You know what? Screw it. We're getting right down to the end of this program. Make the next question good, and we're gonna move on.
Okay. Sorry, let me just do a quick run through. Where was it? Oh, I always wanted to know about this one. Is from Unova Brony. I'll go for this one. Any advice for writers who want to write stories in the future for animation?
For people that want to make animation?
Yeah.
Uh, well, I mean, try to get your hands on scripts from animated shows, so you can really see what they look like, and just watch a lot of animation and kind of see what works and what doesn't work. And then just kind of try your hand at writing your own stuff. I mean, there's a couple of different types of writing for animation. A lot of shows are board driven, which means there's usually not a script. There's an outline, and then the board artist comes up with all the dialogue and everything. And then there are shows that start off with a script, and then a board artist takes that and turns it into something even better than you imagined. But yeah, it's just, practice makes perfect, and there's lots of books about writing and things like that. So just read, watch, and write.
Yep. So with that, I think we've come to the end of the program.
Hey, listen, I wanted to say one quick thing.
Go right ahead.
For the fans out there, that was something that I had kind of learned when I was at Equestria LA is that some of the writers and some of the staff are more aware of stuff that's going on in the fandom than other people are. So sometimes if you see something in the show that either feels like it doesn't fit with what's kind of going on with the fandom, or it totally does fit with what's going on with the fandom, sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. Like what I was thinking of is the debate of the eye color of DJ Poem 3 or Vinyl Scratch.
Mm-hmm.
That I imagine whoever put the eye color didn't know what eye color the fandom had given that character. So it certainly wasn't meant to be like a, oh yeah, you think it's this color, what's going to be this color? I think that that sometimes people are aware of what all is happening in the fandom, and sometimes they're not. So never take offense by something that
no, never.
If it doesn't fit what you kind of have had in your head, because it's obviously never intended to be a oh, you think it's this, well, I'll show you it's going to be this instead.
Yeah. I put it down to canon and fanon. So don't ever think we can do whatever we want in fandom, okay? But until it comes out in the show, we're just guessing, and that's it, people. I mean, we've had 4 or 5 different versions of Luna. We've had angsty teenager Luna, we've had sad Luna, we've had Royal Cantalot voice Luna. We've had all these different fandom versions of Luna, but guess what? Mitch Larson wrote Luna, and that's Luna, okay? So everything we have in fandom can be thrown on the shelf because now we have exactly who she is. Now we can go forward. Just like DJ Pony, her eyes are what her eyes are now. Go with it. Done. Just don't argue about it. We're not here to argue. We're here to have fun.
Exactly. I just don't want anybody to ever think that, we're trying to...
No. They're there to make a wonderful show, to entertain us, that we can play off of, that we can have a great time playing around in with our own imaginations. So
exactly. I do. I love that people come up with all their own stuff when it's not, when we haven't shown stuff on the show, that there's this, like I said, whole off show life that has.
Oh yeah, it's like I can't wait till we actually see some more background on Scootaloo. I mean, she's a major character, and we haven't seen much of anything, really.
Interesting.
If you think about it, Scootaloo is pretty much an orphan. We haven't seen her family. We haven't seen where she lives. I have a theory that she lives under a bridge in Detroit.
Maybe.
Pretty much. So hopefully
Or a chicken coop.
Or a chicken coop. Out at Fluttershy. Or she lives at the clubhouse. Who knows? But we are now at the end of the program. And this is the time where I give you all of the wonderful programming that's going to happen this week right here on Everfree Network. Reading Rainboom every other Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, which is the wonderful show that takes your fabulous, fine fan fiction and reads it out loud like it's a radio play. So don't miss that. That's every other Tuesday. Cutie Art Crusaders, the CAC find and discuss the best fan art the Bronies have to offer. Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Equestrian Inquirer. That is Joe Stevens, Tech Rat, and LTT.
Look, a moose!
Told you. And they are Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. They're going on their third season, so catch them. They're awesome and funny. Sketchy Sounds Live Songcast is a 2-hour live set of acoustic music performed by Sketchy Sounds Thursdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Why? Because he's overseas somewhere in Sweden, I think. Or is that Norway? I don't remember. Brony Breakdown with your boys, Saber Spark and Paleo. Boys! 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, where they discuss everything that's going on in the last week in this wide world of fandom that we have. The Lunar Republic Takeover Show is Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's the all-request music show with Nightmare Moon taking over this program. One Trick's Mixology, I believe, is moved. I think it's Saturdays, maybe, now. She has to get to me. I haven't talked to One Trick in a while. But that's the Trance, Electro, and House Music Show, and that's usually 9 p.m. And that's going to be Saturdays after Saturday Night Songs with Michelle Krieber. And that is Saturdays, 4 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Pegasisters Live is Sunday nights. And they have a show much like mine, where they discuss everything from the female perspective of this fandom. And that's every week on Sunday, 7 p.m. East, 7 p.m. Pacific. And Osaka Jack's new show, I don't know exactly what day it's going to be regularly, but he's going to have his show right after I'm done. So we need to roll out of here. Megan, still there?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for your time tonight, coming and seeing and talking to us and all those wonderful viewers who showed up to hear what you had to say.
My pleasure, and we got a good episode coming on Saturday. So
Yeah, we do.
Yay.
Yep. I'm looking forward to the Wonderbolts episode myself because I'm a huge Wonderbolts fan. So, I know it's going to be awesome. I don't even have to think about it. I might even skip work that day. I don't know. Don't tell my boss. With that, I want to thank Screwball for doing a wonderful job as always. And I want to thank Cowboy Dave, who makes us look wonderful on the YouTubes, and he does a wonderful job with this program. It takes him a lot of time to do it on top of his regular job. So thank you, Dave, for doing what you do. And I'd like to thank personally Caredwin, who helped me a lot with this episode. And he'll be home in a little while, and we'll go to dinner. So, and he's watching right now. So, with that, I need to cue up the ending music because I'm gushing over everybody, and I didn't cue up nothing because I'm not a professional, obviously. Where'd my ending music go? There it is. Cute. So, with that, thank you everybody for coming and checking us out. And you know what? Next week, it's back-to-back writers. We got M.A. Larson here on the program live.
Yay!
So, yes. So, don't...
I totally grabbed it.
Don't miss it. So, we'll catch you in a week's time. Thank you all for coming, and we'll ciao.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We hate to leave you, but we'll be back soon. Good night, sweetheart. Good night. Good night, sweetheart. Good night.